I thought of her as a beautiful, clear little person, a kind of gift, too. And when she saw me kissing her father, when she saw her father kissing me in his own house, she laughed and flapped her hands, a shrill, unforgettable hoot. It was a laugh, I thought later, mostly of recognition, but also of spite, or something like it, glee, perhaps. And her mother, who was just downstairs, said, "Evie, what are you doing up there?" making the child glance back over her shoulder. "Come on down now." And some miracle of her mother's voice, so casual and controlled, made Evie think that everything was all right, despite the fact that I had been kissing her father, not for the first time either. Though I now think of it as the first real time, the first official occasion of our love on New Year's Day 2007, when Evie was pretty much still a child. I met him in my sister's garden in Enniskerry. That is where I first saw him. There was nothing faded about it, though I add in the late summer light in the view. I put him at the bottom of my sister's garden, in the afternoon, at the moment the day begins to turn, 5:30 maybe. It is 5:30 on a Wicklow summer Sunday when I see Sean for the first time. And there he is, where the end of my sister's garden becomes uncertain. He's about to turn around, but he doesn't know this yet. He is looking at the view, and I am looking at him. The sun is low and lovely. He is standing where the hillside begins its slow run down to the coast, and the light is at his back, and it is just that time of day when all the colors come into their own. It is some years ago now. The house is new, and this is my sister's housewarming party, or first party, a few months after they moved in. The first thing they did was take down the wooden fence to get their glimpse of the sea, so the back of the house sits like a missing tooth in the row of new homes, exposed to the easterly winds and to the curious cows, a little stage set for this afternoon of happiness. They have new neighbors in, and old pals and me, with a few cases of wine and the barbecue they put on their wedding list but ended up buying themselves. It sits on the patio, a green thing with a swiveling bucket of a lid, and my brother-in-law, Shay, I think he even wore the apron, waves wooden tongs over lamb steaks and chicken drumsticks while cracking cans of beer high in the air with his free hand. Fiona keeps expecting me to help because I am her sister. She passes with an armful of plates and shoots me a dark look. And then she remembers that I am a guest and offers me some Chardonnay. "Yes," I say. "Yes, I'd love some, thanks." And we chat like grown-ups. The glass she fills me with is the size of a swimming pool. It makes me want to cry when I think of it. It must have been 2002. There I was, just back from 3 weeks in Australia and mad, just mad into Chardonnay. My niece Megan must have been 4 and my nephew nearly 2, fantastic, messy little items who look at me like they are waiting for the joke. They have friends in too. It's hard to tell how many kids there are running around the place. I think they're being cloned in the downstairs bathroom. A woman goes in there with 1 toddler and she always comes out fussing over 2. I sit beside the glass wall between the kitchen and the garden. It really is a lovely house. And I watch my sister's life. The mothers hover round the table where the kids' food is set, while out in the open air, the men sip their drinks and glance skywards as though for rain. I end up talking to a woman who is sitting beside a plate of chocolate Rice Krispie cakes, working her way through them in a forgetful sort of way. They have mini marshmallows on top. She goes to pop one in her mouth and pulls back in surprise. "Ooh, pink," she says. I don't know what I was waiting for. My boyfriend Connor must have been dropping someone off or picking them up. I can't remember why he wasn't back. He would have been driving. He usually drove so I could have a few drinks, which was one of the good things about Connor, I have to say. These days it's me who drives, though that is an improvement too. And I don't know why I remember the chocolate Rice Krispies, except that, "Ooh, pink," seemed like the funniest thing I had ever heard. We ended up weak with laughter, myself and this nameless neighbor of my sister's. She, in particular, so crippled by mirth you couldn't tell if it was appendicitis or hilarity had her bent over, in the middle of which she seemed to keel off her